Good afternoon, members. My name is Jeffrey A. Goldmacher, Chairman of COPI, the Committee Opposed to Poinciana Incorporation. COPI and the residents that we represent respectfully ask you to throw out this whole idea of Poinciana Incorporation. It is flawed, it still does not meet statutory requirements, and is not in the best interest of the residents of Poinciana. I could go through the flaws and the statutory deficiencies, but you all have that in my rebuttal. Most of you have heard that. You're all on the Polk County delegation. You heard me speak at the Polk County delegation, or I've met with you privately. Let's go through some of the arguments that they're trying to use to convince you to support incorporation. At the Polk County delegation, you had one of the leaders get up and tell you that the reason for incorporation is they need public safety. They need more law enforcement. But nowhere do they have that in their plan of how much they're going to spend on law enforcement. They mention a shooting at a church. They mention a body found behind a Walgreens. They mention a house fire that was to hide a crime. Well, shame on them for dramatizing these criminal acts. The church that they were talking about isn't even in Poinciana. So why are they bringing that up? The other two instances were the crime scene was actually in a private home. And Representative Carmi, unless they're going to use those sensors that they talked about this morning in private homes, no law enforcement would have been able to stop something like that. But let's take a look around the area. You're talking about Haines City. 4 thugs killed a 71-year-old mother and her daughter, stole their car, and crashed it through a garage door. Lakeland, 2 were arrested for murder and home invasion. Kissimmee, 2 summers ago, you had drive-by shooting, killed a teenager walking to the bus to go to work, excuse me. In the city of Melbourne, just recently, you had a distraught ex-husband go into a mall, shoot at his ex-wife, wounding her, killing her companion before killing himself. What do all these places have, all these things have in common? Each of them are in a city that is not only covered by the county law enforcement, but they have their own law enforcement, they have their own police force. The Poinciana plan is not adding a police force. Unfortunately, in this day and age, criminals don't look at a line on a map to see, oh, is this incorporated or is this in the city? Maybe I should commit a crime here instead of there. Crime is all around us. Second, they claim that after 40 years of being controlled by a developer, they're tired. But the developer doesn't control the HOA. They point to one village, where that village, the developer has a say of who's going to be on that sit on the board. But the board is made up of 9 different villages. 5 of those villages have residents that are sitting on that board. 3 are non-residents. One is an investor who, yes, the developer put into office by putting his votes for it, but he has no ties to the developer. So there's only 3 that really are controlled by the developer. I don't care if it was the new math from the 60s or the Common Core math of today, 5 is more than 3, and 5 is more than 4. So the residents of Poinciana do have a say of what goes on in that HOA.
Mr. Goldmacher, we can just kind of bring this ship to port.
Okay. In conclusion, all I'm saying is, if you're going to create a city, you should be able to provide services better than what you're getting. It shouldn't be the personal agenda of a couple of individuals and their followers that have a beef against the HOA and the developer. Okay? Thank you very much for your time. I'm going to leave you with social media, Facebook. After the Polk County delegation, residents saying they were so happy that you guys in Polk decided not to go.
Leave with Rebecca, and she'll take care of it. Members, any questions? Thank you. Next up is the Association of Poinciana Villages, Mark Maldonado.
Thank you. Thank you, the board, for allowing us to address here today. Poinciana Village is one of the biggest HOAs in the United States. I'm honored to be the general manager for that HOA. Under the direction of the board, I manage over $8 million